All right, Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia were the most actively traded stocks on the market today, and I thought I would go through the charts of these three stocks on different time frames and give you a sense of my opinion on whether they are buy, sells, or holds here. Now, I want to make sure that you understand it's my opinion. I'm not a licensed investment advisor, but I have been trading the stock market for over 30 years, and I have some pretty good insight into how to predict where stocks will go. All right, so let's start off with Apple, which is the chart you see on screen. And what you see here is a 3-year weekly chart. And the thing that I want you to notice first is the recent performance as Apple sort of made it public that they were putting a move into the AI space. So we had the break of the downward trend line there, and that has led to 6 weeks of upside action. So my sense at this point is the stock looks strong. I like it longer term, but anytime a stock makes those kind of gains in the short term, it's likely to make a pullback. It's simple math. When someone bought a stock for 180 and it's now at 215, there's some motivation there to take profits. And so I think it's inevitable that we'll see a little bit of a pullback. So then the question is, when will it pull back? Well, to answer that, I would go to the shorter term time frame. So we're going to go to the 6-month daily chart, and I'm going to draw a line across these bottoms. So this is your trend line. See how we're quite far above right now? So anytime price runs away from the trend line, it's likely to pull back to the trend line. So what I would watch for on Apple to make it a buy is have it come back to this trend line and then bounce off of it. And if it can do that, then I think that there's a good potential for it to resume the upward trend. So I'm going to put a conditional buy on Apple. I don't want to buy it here. I like the longer term outlook, but I think it's likely to pull back in the short term, and you're better to buy it on a pullback and then a break of the pullback. All right, let's take a look at Tesla next. And by the way, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to show you why the market has got a fair bit of deception in it. There's a real deceptive picture that's being created by the market, and 2 of these 3 stocks are the culprits, and I'll show you why in just a bit. But let's jump to Tesla first. Here's Tesla's chart. Again, 3-year weekly. Now here you can see that the stock is in a downward trend. What that means is that the sellers are in control of the market. There's general pessimism in the market about this stock. And we know that anytime there is falling tops on a chart, as you see here over the last 3 years, we've had falling tops in the chart. Now, we had periods when there were some short-term or shorter-term rising bottoms, but that's not the case. We are starting to build a little rising bottom here, but we still are underneath this downward trend line. So based on that, the long-term picture is negative for Tesla. I would not want to be a buyer if you are a long-term holder. Now that doesn't mean that you can't be a day trader or a swing trader of the stock. I could jump to a shorter term time frame. So if I go to the 15-day, 30-minute chart, well there I can see that optimism is in play, right? We've had this optimism building. This is a pattern called a pennant pattern. And so the moves up and down here are getting tighter. That means volatility is compressing. And if we were to break out of this pennant to the upside, then a short-term trader looking to hold for maybe a few days or a couple of weeks could profit from that upside move. However, at this point, I would not touch the stock. I'd like to see, again, as a swing trader, I'd like to see the stock make that break out of the pattern. If it can do that, great. If not, then I think it's best just to leave it alone. All right, let's take a look finally at Nvidia. So really the top performing stock among the large cap stocks. It's made really awesome gains. The issue with this stock is although it's a very strong stock, it's making what we call a parabolic upward trend line. So when you have a parabolic upward trend, what it means is that investors are very emotional. The fear of missing out is causing a lot of people to buy this stock. And that is a dangerous situation. Because when trends go parabolic, they are setting up for a sharp downward move eventually when the bubble bursts. Now, there is no sign of weakness here yet, and so I think the stock is a hold. I would hold it if you are in it. I would not buy it here. I think it's way too risky. Now again, if you're a day trader or a swing trader and you're looking to hold it for a few hours or days on perhaps an options trade or something like that, that's a totally different story. I'm looking at this as an investor longer term. I just think it's too risky here because it's made such considerable gains. So then the question is, well, when do you sell? And so anytime a trend goes parabolic, what I like to do is shorten the time frame that you analyze and look for a break of trend. So the chart that we're looking at on screen right now is a weekly chart, and it's gone parabolic. So we then want to shorten the time frame to look for a break of the trend on the daily time frame. So I can go into the Stockscores chart here, click on 6 month daily, and now I see the upward trend line, which I just draw across the bottoms. And there's two ways to do this. One, if you want to be really aggressive, is sell if this trend line is broken. So if we had a downward move like that, then that would be an aggressive sell signal. The other way to do it is to wait for a falling top. So typically, upward trends happen when there's a break of the trend, a build of a falling top, and then a breakdown from a falling top. And so if we had our trend line like this, we broke it, that's step one. Build a falling top, that's step two. And then step three is a breakdown from a falling top through the upward trend line. So if you own this stock and you're looking for a place to exit, that would be my strategy. I don't see a reason to exit yet. I want to stress that, but it is a risky stock, so I would not be a buyer of the stock here, only on weakness. And again, the long-term momentum is up, it's great, and if there was a major pullback, much like we had, back here when the stock pulled back for 8 weeks, 7-8 weeks, that presented a buying opportunity. Sell here, I actually did a video on that back then, selling there on the bursting bubble, and then buying back on this break up from a rising bottom, breaking the downward trend line. It was kind of the inverse of what I'm telling you to look for now. Here you had a pullback, build of a rising bottom, and then a break from a rising bottom, and that's led to this nice wave to the upside. I think the next trade on Nvidia is to the downside, and then perhaps buying it on a little bit of a bargain hunt. Well, I hope you've enjoyed these videos, or this video, and I'm happy to do more, but if we get more subscribers, more likes on the video, then I'm more likely to do these daily. And let me know if you have some topics you'd like to do. Love to hear your thoughts. Buy, sell, or hold on these three stocks. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts, and I will look at perhaps doing some more of these. Hope you've enjoyed it, and trade well.